So there we have it, a positive video for once. Rangers 3, Dundee 1 at Ibrox. And the thing is, someone surprising but not so surprising took the spotlight for this game. So when the game started off, obviously there was that early goal for Dundee after Rangers defenders struggled to pick up the second ball in the box and looked to be sleeping. And when that goal went in, it wouldn't surprise me that a lot of Rangers fans sat there and thought, here we go again. Lucky for us, the goal was that early on at the game. We had plenty of time to respond, and we did just that. Tavernier slotting away a decent penalty after a shot pull in the box, which will inevitably have all the tinfoil hats on and diving into the comments section as usual. But let's be honest, that's as clear of a foul as you're ever going to see inside the box. I don't get why any player in the modern day would even consider taking a grab at a player's shirt inside the box. Yeah, you can get away with it anywhere else in the pitch, you can have cynical fouls, but why would you ever want to touch a player's shirt inside the box? Yeah, it seemed to me that the shirt pulls were one of the tactics employed by Dundee throughout the game, and let's be honest, Kevin Clancy had absolutely no control over that whatsoever. Let's not forget the fact that Dessers put in, well, an overall better performance than what we're used to, and I think he really took the goal well that he got, and I think he chopped it onto his left foot, managed to hit the roof of the net with it, and I think it was a pretty good finish. It was a quality of which we've seen in those Dessers Europa Conference League compilations. And fair play to him, even though he still didn't really have any cutting edge or imagination, he's still got a long way to go to be considered clinical. I think we got a slightly better performance out of him this time round at a time where we really needed him to step up due to the absence of Danilo. And for that third goal, Sima, one of our most dangerous players and definitely a highlight during previous games so far this season, ends up with an absolute stormer of a header to find the back of the net. Now, there's no doubt about it that Sima is definitely one of our more dangerous forward players, and there has been a lot of rumours going about that we may be signing him in January. There's been talks behind the scenes between ourselves and Brighton to make that happen, and obviously I think for the right price I would 100% have him stay at the club permanently. I think he put in a really good performance both offensively and defensively. You've seen him a lot of the time tracking back really quickly and helping out when the back line were exposed, and obviously Brighton forward, he done really well at exposing those opposition defenders. And for me, I've got to agree, I can only agree with that man of the match award. Now, one of the biggest debates during that match was the Cifuentes sending off, which will, by the way, rule him out for the League Cup final. And to me, when you look at the rules of the game, yes, it was soft, but when you go in like that and when you're ever so slightly late, it's probably going to end up a red card. Do I want the laws of the game changed so that's more of a yellow card? Absolutely, but that's just the way it is. You could clearly see it wasn't an intentional stamp on the player, but at the end of the day, when you lift your leg and the studs make contact with a player after the ball's left and you don't get enough or any of the ball, there's only one outcome for that situation. Now, another wee controversial period of the game was that Cantwell goal, and to be honest, my belief is that if Clancy let the game play out and let that goal go forward and left it to VAR, I think Rangers may well have had a case for that goal to count, but it didn't. He blew his whistle well before the ball hit the back of the net, and there was nothing really we could have done about that. So then the debate turns to the foul itself. Was it a foul? And I don't believe so. I didn't see enough contact with the Dundee player to show me any signs that that would be a foul, but it is what it is. It's happened. We move on. Now, speaking of those controversial refereeing decisions, I think Clancy, he's probably had as bad a game as I've ever seen for Kevin Clancy. I think he was so inconsistent during the game. There was a couple of situations, for example, there was two clear shot pulls, one for Dundee, one for Rangers, and obviously the Dundee shot pull goes unpunished, whereas Barisic's pull almost kind of round the shoulder, round the neck, got immediately punished, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the refereeing performance, to the point where Clermont eventually gets a yellow card for being so furious with the on-field decisions. I think as obviously a Rangers fan, but a Dundee fan, and neutral in general, whenever you watch Kevin Clancy, he's always got that ability to completely ruin a game of football and bring that spotlight on himself. Now maybe if it was more of a tight result, or if we were getting beat, there'd be more an uproar, but to be honest, I just want to move on for that whole refereeing performance. Now, coming out in the second half, yes, it was eventful in terms of refereeing decisions and intensity of the game, but at the end of the day, it was pretty dull. But don't take that away from the fact that Rangers done absolutely brilliantly what they had to do to make sure they kept that 3-1 lead, and you can't really complain about that. It's only a positive in a time where a lot of the games that we eventually talk about and review are mostly negative. A few of the players I genuinely enjoyed watching was obviously the man of the match, Sima. I think again McCausland looked great. He was one of the most composed and inventive players on the pitch today. And Butland, he's clearly going to have a class highlight reel by the end of the season. But listen, to me, credit to the team, credit to the way they played, credit to defending that 3-1 lead, especially being down to 10 men. We take the 3 points, we move on to Thursday and the League Cup final. Now what I want you to do is jump into the comments section and let me know what you thought about that performance and what you thought about what I've said in the video. Just a reminder, the link to the BlueSea channel memberships is in the description. It's a great way to let us invest a wee bit more back into the content to make it better for you lot. The link to that is down in the description next to our socials, and I'll see you next time.